Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the last Congress, I posed a question to this committee, and we discussed the nature of the workforce, is what we're here to talk about today, and the historical comparisons of workforce participation as a concerning trend, but perhaps offers us an opportunity as it relates to the cyber realm and our workforce requirements to address emerging threats to our country, and how can we draw upon the available workforce. We discussed how to prepare and recruit America's cyber workforce, and I remarked upon a documented phenomenon of America's so-called disconnected generation. Just a few stats: the current labor force participation rate among Gen Z, ages 20 to 24, 71%. That's roughly 4% lower than the millennial generation and 6 percentage points lower than the preceding generation when they were in the same age range. And this is, to me, my perspective is this is a sweet spot that perhaps in our workforce we should focus on. And specifically, according to a recent study among Gen Z, a staggering 73% of those young Americans report feeling constantly alone. And as it relates to the disconnect from the labor force, perhaps there's several factors that contribute to that, but let's talk about the conceptual nature of this field, the cyber field. The cyber battlefield is vast but unseen. And the call to man our cyber defenses, while critical, it lands differently than, say, a call to serve in uniform or on the front lines in the traditional historical perspective, like public or military service. So how do we bridge this gap, and how do we access this vast workforce that is available of young Americans that are not engaged? And I'd like to submit for the record, Mr. Chairman, a RAND Corporation report entitled How to Analyze the Cyber Threat from Drones. I seek unanimous consent to offer, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection.
Thank you. This report touches on the things we're discussing and how we can connect our relevant fields, gentlemen, to this workforce. And I ask you, Mr. Russomanno and Mr. Rashod, how are you adjusting your particular intersections with the cyber realm to make cybersecurity attractive to this generation that's available? Mr. Russomanno?
Thank you, Congressman Higgins, for that question. With respect to Gen Z, I think it's very important to message early on, and glad to hear about these early K through 12 initiatives, is how vast the cybersecurity field is. Many times folks think about computer science, engineering, these disciplines that have tremendous prerequisite chains, a mathematical foundation, basic science foundation. Those are wonderful programs. Our nation needs those programs to advance the state of the art. But there's ample opportunities to apply the state of the art, and I don't believe we're articulating those opportunities broadly enough to Gen Z. So at the University of Memphis, for example, we have the Polytechnic Initiative that's really looking at expanding our cybersecurity degree portfolio to better align with community college and other training programs.
Are you seeing an engagement from these young Americans where they appear there's some heightened awareness of the cybersecurity field and they're attracted to that? Are we recruiting these young Americans through that program?
I believe so. The real challenge is for these students to see themselves in these careers, because oftentimes they may think of the barrier in terms of the mathematical preparation, basic sciences preparation. So really that focus on that applied practice, which I think the pivot bill in particular is addressing to expand the workforce to community college and technical school
Thank you.
opportunities.
And my time has expired, but Mr. Chairman, could Mr. Rashote briefly respond to the same question? How is he
Absolutely.
helping the workforce see their way into the cybersecurity realm?
Yeah, I think the public-private partnerships are critical, and from a roles perspective, I think cybersecurity roles can sometimes be quite nebulous. So someone going into education to become in a cybersecurity career, what does that career look like? What is the actual role? So we're taking a lot of emphasis around working with organizations to try to define those roles. What is a SecOps analyst, for example? Working with organizations like NIST with the NICE career paths and trying to map. We've actually mapped our entire catalog of cybersecurity training courses to the NICE pathways to try to make that more well-defined. We're also working with hundreds of academic institutions to integrate our enterprise certifications into academic programs to make it more relevant, more hands-on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the indulgence. I yield.